I have full confidence, like I've told you, and like I've told you from the beginning, I have full confidence in our way of playing. Full confidence in myself as the play caller, in the way that we teach, in the way that we scheme. Full confidence in that. We got to bring this group together and do it consistently, okay? And that's where it's at. So you can stop asking that question, okay? I'm going to be calling the defenses, okay? So we're clear. So you don't have to ask that again.
So Brandon Staley just got fired by the Chargers, and at this point, I really wanted to get into talking a little bit about Justin Herbert and how I feel that he has been underappreciated at this point. A lot of people have a lot of pushback on him for whatever reasons, and I don't think they realize how bad of a hire Brandon Staley was for their current circumstance and everything that went into that. Brandon Staley was a coordinator for 1 year, then got hired. There were other people like Brian Dable that wanted this job, and the Chargers did not pass it over to him. They failed Justin Herbert, and he has still put up performances that have been really, really good for just having the head coaching situation that he has. And before I even get into Justin Herbert, just more on Brandon Staley, it's like, gosh, how could you miss more? How could you keep this guy employed for as long as you did? It made no sense to me. He wasn't a head coach. I think he could be a coordinator somewhere someday, but it's clear he wasn't a head coach. Head coaches, a lot of the things that they need to do is they need to be good decision makers. I feel like Brandon Staley is terrible at it. You would see early the fourth down mistakes and all that, just making poor decisions. You saw it this year. He kind of pushed back on that because I think people told him, like, we're going to get fired if you keep doing this. But his side of the ball, the defense, always somewhat looked shaky. They brought in guys, wasn't able to figure it out, and now you're kind of at a point where it's like, I don't know how they kept him for as long as they did. But then going into Justin Herbert, just how good is he at this point? After having a coach like that, he is, I mean, they obviously got it right at quarterback. If you look at his numbers just throughout the 4-year career that he has put forth so far, it's pretty shocking, actually. Like, the numbers, the completion percentage, I would say he's a game changer. He just makes a lot of plays that I think put him as one of the top QBs in the league. And now, the only thing I was thinking about last night when I was watching that game, when I was watching that Raiders, that just blowout of the game, the 63-21 loss, which actually probably could have been a lot worse. I think they backed off a little bit. And in that game, I kept just sitting down and thinking, this team is this bad without Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen, especially Justin Herbert. Because Keenan Allen's missed some time. This team is this bad without Justin Herbert. And it makes you think. It's like, for the people out there that are giving pushback, and there probably are people out there that are going to give pushback on this firing. They're going to give pushback on Justin Herbert. And I think that, like, that's ridiculous at that point, just looking at it all and putting it all together. Justin Herbert is a good quarterback. His numbers show for themselves. His rating shows for itself. He's a game changer. He's the only reason this thing's been afloat. Brandon Staley was a bad hire from day one. The ownership group made a very poor decision. Don't make it again. And for Justin Herbert, if you put the right head coach around Herbert, if you're able to somehow get that done, if you're able to do that, that would be so big for this franchise because they have everything you would need. You have the star receiver, you have the star corner, you have Bosa, you have Eckler is an aging running back. Maybe you get rid of him, but running backs are very replaceable nowadays. And more or less, you have the star franchise quarterback in Justin Herbert. The guy can play. His numbers are good. He has been the only win that they've had, and this roster is just too good. If you bring in the right coach, you have a fighting chance, and you should be able to find a way